Hello, I am just getting ready to try to show how to use a rope machine to make decorative rope, such as friendship bracelets or necklaces or lots of things. Anyway, we will begin with this. All right, the rope machine is right here. I made this myself with a 3D printer. Turn the handle. Every time the handle goes around, the hooks spin 4 times. Okay. When I talk about this, I'm talking about this hook here is the first one, number 1, and it is the one that is closest to me. Number 2 is underneath number 1. Number 3 is on the bottom on the other side, and number 4 is on the top. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy does it. All right, pull this back a little bit. And then the other end is the peg end. And so the pegs are going to be like this. The one that's closest is number 1. The next one is number 2. The next one is number 3. I'm going to try to do this so that you can see what's going on, but it's difficult to do anything worth doing this small. So I'll do the best I can and try to keep it so that you can actually see what's going on. I can see my finger and the hooks. Maybe I can pull this in just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly useful. So I have 4 different colors here that I'm going to use. I have yellow, green, black, and a light green. Now, anytime I decide to do this, sometimes I have been known to put 2 colors together that don't really, they look like they might be interesting together, but when they get together and they twist together, there isn't enough contrast, there isn't enough difference. So these 2 greens kind of work together, but not good enough. Now, these 2 greens should be quite good. Looks good to me. And the green and the yellow may not be perfect, but I'm going to use them anyway. So you can see that. That's okay. So when I do this, I just won't put them, I will try to make it so that they are not together in the rope. First thing I do is I'm going to take this light green one and I'm going to make a slip knot. Just like so. Slip knot. And I'm going to put it over the first peg. And then I'm going to come back around. Try to move this out a little bit. It's awfully close. Put this in there so it doesn't move when I'm working on it. So, first peg to the first hook. And we let it come out. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit so you can kind of see better. So, first peg around the first hook on this side and out. Like this. I'm going to cut this one at this length. Hope you can see what I did. And then I'm going to add another color. Light green. How about dark green? Oops. Light green and dark green should be fine together. And then I just tie an overhand knot in this. Anything, a square knot, anything that will hold 2 pieces of string together. All right. I go around this first peg and I come back down here and I go around the second hook. Okay. So I went around the second hook, coming back this way. When I get to the end, I will cut the green one. Then I'm going to grab the yellow and I'm going to tie the yellow one to the green one, just like before. There we are, and then I come around that, the second peg, come back, go around the third hook, which is the bottom one on this side, and I come back here and I cut this one just like I did before. And now I'm going to tie this one to the black one. And so in the finished product, the light green one will be next to the dark green one. The dark green one will be next to the yellow one. The yellow one will be next to the black one. And the black one will be next to the light green one, the first one. All right, so I'm going to go around the third peg, come back down here, go around the fourth hook, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring this string down to this, and I'm going to cut it right here, right next to the first peg. And the reason I'm going to do that is that I am going to tie these two together. So I take this one and I just tie them together like I did the other ones, like that. Okay, tied them together, and then this is going to come down and I'm going to put it around all three pegs. So I am now going to switch this one the other way so that there aren't any twists, that these two go together, these two go together. It works, trust me. So we've got this like this. I'm using embroidery floss. Embroidery floss is not plied. The 6 strands in embroidery floss are not twisted together. So I can twist it this way or this way. It doesn't make any difference. It'll go together and it'll make a nice rope. And I have been known to use it, put it together halfway and then unwind it and go the other direction so that there can be a twist going both directions. We won't do anything with that now. So all that's left is to crank it. I'm going to take this out of the way. Anytime you're doing this on carpet, you have to make sure that these things don't start picking up carpet because they will twist up into anything. So deep carpet's a bad idea. Put a piece of newspaper down or something. Anyway, so let's begin. As this goes, you will notice that the pegs are coming this way, and that's because the cranking is making the functional length of the rope smaller, and this looks plenty tight. I usually wind it up until this starts to wind up around the hook. There are other things, but that's the basic idea. Okay, now I'm going to put this back in front of here because I don't want it to move for the next part. All right, so what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to stick my hand in here and try to get underneath these so that they can be taken off here and remain separated. I'm going to push that out of the way, and I'm going to switch hands so that I have a finger in each one of these, just like the way the pegs were. And then I'm going to line these up the way I want them to go together. So I want them to go together the same way this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got them all together like that so that I know which way they are going to come together. Now I'm going to line these up the way I want, and then when I'm pretty sure everything's going to work, I let go, and I end up with that. And because there's enough tension in it, it goes together and stays together. All right, now I'm going to grab a little higher up, do the same thing. And now I am going to, because I have been twisting these together, allowing them to twist together. Some of the twist that's in here is going into that. And so I'm going to turn this a couple of times to put a little more twist back in my rope. And again, and I think that's probably enough. So now that we have this here, I'm going to carefully take each one of these loops off of the hook and try to keep them from coming undone. If they do, you've got it here, so it doesn't make a lot of difference, but ideally you let it go and you end up with this. Tie a knot in the end and it will not unwind. And I hope you can see that. Kind of looks like the colors of a caterpillar. Anyway, so there it is. I hope to start putting out a video on this. I have some experience doing this for a lot of years. Anyway, so I hope that works for you, and I hope that's the best that can be done. With that, I'll pass.